There is a genetic disease that affects the lungs and liver. It strikes all cultures but tends to target those with Northern European backgrounds. It's called Alpha-1. To learn more, let's welcome Craig Hamilton from the Alpha-1 Foundation to the table. Welcome.
Hi, Craig.
Hi, everyone.
Well, to kick everything off here, tell us about you. We want to know about you.
Well, I'm a lifetime Spanish Farker, born and raised. Graduated
What year?
a long time
Long
ago.
time. Oh, no year. What about all of our viewers? They're going to be like, I know Craig. I went to school with him.
1973. So it was our
awesome.
50-year reunion this year.
Awesome.
Was it really?
And there were a lot of my classmates that came up to me and said, "Hey, what's with the oxygen? You've never had oxygen," and that's where I started explaining to everyone
What it is.
what I have.
Okay.
So do explain what it's Alpha-1, correct?
Yes.
That you have?
I am an alpha. I know I don't look like an alpha,
Do.
but growing up, I was just fine. I had no idea that I had any kind of condition whatsoever. I played sports. I hunted. I went hiking in high altitudes. I was a scuba diver.
Oh, wow.
So very active, man.
Yeah, very active. I had no restrictions
Okay.
whatsoever. But about the time I got to be about 45 to 50, I started getting sick quite often. I'd get pneumonia 3, 4, 5 times a year.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
And I could tell that I was just starting to get weaker and weaker. My wife had passed around that time, and about a year and a half later, I got remarried, and my current wife, Melanie, was in the supplement industry,
Okay.
and we lovingly call her the witch doctor. But she was trying to figure out, hey, how do I keep this guy
Right.
healthy? And man, it was a struggle. And so I started to go to different pulmonologists to try to find out, hey, what's going on? And a couple of them told me I had sleep apnea. I didn't really care about that. I wanted to know why I kept getting pneumonia.
Right.
And finally, I went to one over in Provo, and he said, "Have you ever been tested for Alpha-1?" And I said, "No, what's that, a dog?" And he said, "No, that's a genetic condition." And so he tested me that day, and a week later, I found out that I was an alpha. And that's short for Alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency, which is what I have.
How does one get tested? Is it a blood draw? Is it a breathing test maybe? I mean, it would be probably different than what we would.
Well, testing is very easy.
Okay.
It's a finger prick,
Okay.
and you put some daubs of blood on a paper and you send it in.
Oh,
And shortly thereafter, you're notified whether you're
okay.
an alpha
So
or not.
explain a little bit what then Alpha-1 entails for you.
Okay,
physically.
well, Alpha-1, like I say, it's a genetic condition. You get half your genetic makeup from your mother and half from your father. And there's one of the genes is called serpina-1, and serpina-1, it instructs your liver how to make a protein called antitrypsin. And in the case of an alpha, you have two bad genes. Both of the serpina genes have a mutation. So I luckily got both of those bad genes from my parents. My father was a carrier of the gene. He didn't have alpha 1 like me. He didn't have both bad genes. He had one. My mother the same. So there was neither one of them had any illness or any indication that they had anything wrong with them. In that case where two parents are carriers of the gene, there's a 1 in 4 chance that one of the children will get both of the bad genes.
And are you the only child that got it?
I'm the only one that got it out of 4.
So does it affect the lungs? Obviously, we see that you have air that you're using, oxygen.
Yeah, it's actually a liver condition which affects the lungs. When you have alpha 1, your liver produces the antitrypsin, but it can't get out. It's not formed properly, and so it can't get out of the liver. And antitrypsin is used in your blood, in your tissues, to protect your for injury when you get infection or when you get foreign matter in your lungs, particularly in your lungs because they're the most susceptible organ of your body. If it's not present, then
You're going to get sick.
and your good lung tissue gets destroyed by white blood cells when they go to clean up.
So slowly it was happening to you, right? And it wasn't until you're symptomatic that you knew something was wrong.
It was slowly happening, and then all of a sudden it took off. And I know that if I hadn't gotten diagnosed, I wouldn't be here today.
Wow.
So as part of your work with the foundation, what does a cure look like, or an outcome maybe even for you?
Well, right now there is no cure for alpha 1.
Okay.
And it is a progressive condition. So it is a life-ending condition. Some people are more liver affected, and if they're liver affected, they become jaundice, they get liver disease, and they can get a liver transplant. Some have what they call paniculitis, which is a skin condition. They get bumps and sores on their skin, and a very large portion of the alphas have the lung problem that I have.
Okay. Craig, I wanted to ask you, because when Grifols opened up several years ago, Grifols here on Main Street, the Plasma Center, can you take like a quick second and just tell us how does a plasma center help your life?
Okay, so I'm lacking antitrypsin, and the only way I can get antitrypsin is from a weekly infusion, and it's antitrypsin that's derived from humans. It takes 900 donors to provide me with enough antitrypsin for a year.
Isn't that crazy? 900.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's
What's
like
full blood transfusion? Is that what's going on, or plasma?
No. So it's like 17 or 18 donors per week.
Okay.
So what happens is a nurse comes and gives me an infusion of antitrypsin that has been
Pulled from the
pulled
blood.
from the plasma.
Interesting.
Wow.
donations.
I had no idea that was part of our Griffles.
Right, but I think that's like a big plug for Griffles here locally.
Yes.
Is people just saying, like, you're,
And not
by
just
donating
Yeah.
plasma, you're saving lives
Right.
on
Absolutely.
a
So a couple of things here really quickly because we're going to run out of time, but obviously that's making an impact and also you're making an impact. So your foundation is putting on a couple of events. Do you want to tell us
Yes.
about those, please?
The foundation, even though there isn't currently no cure, the foundation is determined to find a cure. And there are a lot of smart people out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we are, as alphas, we're encouraged to participate in fundraising for a cure,
That's awesome.
for research. And so we are doing an event on November the 18th down at the Spanish Fort Fairgrounds at the Ponderosa facility. We're going to have a band. That's why our event is called Rocks, Utah Rocks for Alpha One.
Okay. And when you said November 18th, it's 5 to 9 p.m., so it's that evening.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
5 to 9. Like I say, we'll have a rock band. We'll also have a big raffle. There'll be a food truck on site, and there'll be some education on alpha and what
Okay.
it is, and we need to get the word out so people who have this condition don't end up like me.
Okay, so they can go to the Facebook page, which is
Yeah.
Utah Rocks for Alpha-1. Right,
Yeah.
that's the Facebook page. And they
Right.
can buy tickets there,
Yes,
or we can just show up that night.
that's correct.
Okay.
Yeah,
And if we can't go that night, we can make a donation.
yes.
And probably just go to that Facebook page and message you and say, what can we do to donate?
That's correct. Yeah.
Oh, we're out of time. We could
Yes.
spend like another
Yes.
The education was
episode
huge
with
for
you.
me. Thank you.